Yo. What's up, y'all? None y'all were first. Evening, folks. How you doing, Donald? Hi, Tanya. Good to see y'all. Raul. What's up, Phoebe? That's right. You got to be fast around here, man. Our troops move quick. Second for the thumb. Wow. Alrighty then. Making a stealth camping post in the forum. Froggy started it, but I'd like to get more input. Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, Pop. We're already there. All right, so I guess I'll just start this thing off.
Doesn't get to tell generations.
No, not you. Why did you jump up? I didn't push no button. Where's my button? Oh, there.
Get ready to hear the truth about America on a show that's not immune to the facts with your host, Dan Bongino.
All right, welcome to the Dan Bongino Show. Producer Joe, how are you today?
Oh, man, I'm all ready to go, Dan.
Yeah, me too. And I've got to tell you, we're going to come out of the gates firing on all cylinders today because I am really, really growing tired of being tired of the weak-kneed, phony, swamp rat Republicans out there who bail on this president every single time in a sick, pathetic, sad, sorry effort to ingratiate themselves to the swamp rats in an effort of learned helplessness where they sit there like beaten dogs and they're like, please cater to us. What am I talking about? I'll get to it in a second. Joe sent me a cut this morning from Luis Gutierrez and the disgusting, filthy, grotesque efforts by Democrats, the media, and these gutless losers in the Republican Party to politicize what could be an epic human tragedy and deaths in Puerto Rico. It is so gross. And, of course, you got people who have been castrated, who just refuse to fight back and are just desperate to cater up to this crowd. I'm tired of it.
Yep.
I'm really tired of it. All right, we're going to get to that in a second because a lot of this broke right before we came on the air. We got to pay for the show, though. Today's show brought to you by our buddies at Quip. Hey, when it comes to your health, brushing your teeth is one of the most important parts of your day. Quip knows that. They've combined dentistry and design to make a better electric toothbrush. I got to get a new one. I lost mine, and I'm devastated. Quip is the new electric toothbrush that packs just the right amount of vibrations into a slimmer design at a fraction of the cost of bulkier traditional electric toothbrushes. And guiding pulses alert you when to switch sides, making brushing the right amount of time effortless. Your teeth will be pristine after this. This is one of my favorite new devices. Quip also comes with a mount that suctions to your mirror and unsticks so you can travel with it. It's a nice cover for your gym bag or your carry-on. And because the thing that cleans your mouth should also be clean, Quip's subscription plan refreshes your brush on a dentist-recommended schedule, delivering new brush heads every 3 months for just $5, including free shipping worldwide. Quip is backed by a network of over 10,000 dental professionals, including dentists, hygienists, and dental students. You will never have a cleaner mouth than using Quip. I'm telling you, I love this thing. My daughter has one too. Most toothbrushes don't get named one of Time Magazine's best inventions of the year, but Quip did. Find out for yourself why. Here's how. Quip starts at just $25. That's right. Just $25 starts at, if you go to getquip.com. That's getquip.com/Dan right now. Getquip.com/Dan. you'll get your first refill pack free with a Quip electric toothbrush. That's your first refill pack free at getquip.com/Dan. Getquip.com/Dan. All right. This is out of control, folks. Out of control. So Joe sent me this cut this morning. This is
God damn it,
Luis Gutierrez, who is a congressman
I hope they
from
don't bang me for that.
the state of Illinois. Just listen. I mean, I can't even describe the psychopathological behavior.
I need to figure out how to get rid of those
heads.
yourself.
You want to know what I fear? It's the calamity because of the lack of coordination of the government with the National Guard and with local government, the lack of responsiveness and preparedness of this government because the president, he wants to find out who is the one that wrote that op-ed piece about the...
Those ads that he reads in his script, that he reads right into his show script, you know, they don't appear on they're not like little yellow blocks on the line, you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying, man. Because it turns out that's why they flipped over the Bob Ross video. It wasn't the copyright at all. It was the fucking ads in it. Yeah, I wasn't even paying any attention. I was watching chat, man.
Chaos in the White House because he wants the Justice Department. He is so consumed by the calamity that exists and the chaos that exists that he's not really prepared and focused because he spends every weekend golfing instead of preparing.
This is unreal, folks. This is unbelievable. Dude. This is where we are as a country right now. This guy is a lunatic. He is a far left radical who, again, despite... ironically, Joe, he's attacking Donald Trump for, quote unquote, not being prepared for this tragedy, despite the fact that he provides no evidence that that's actually true. Did you notice he doesn't actually say anything of evidentiary value at all? He doesn't say, well, FEMA's not on the ground because they are, that the National Guard and other, the state level entities, but that the federal government military assets aren't working to help because they are. He doesn't say anything. He goes straight to the political attack because this is where we are right now with this deranged far left. Now, folks, this is driving me crazy because I am really getting burnt out on the fake, phony rhino class. Donald Trump sends out this morning a tweet that is absolutely accurate. That 3,000 people did not, in fact, die during the hurricane in Puerto Rico. They died afterwards. Now, let's be crystal clear on this, because this is where people have a difficult time understanding. A couple of points. Number one, this was an enormous, massive human tragedy in Puerto Rico. Mm-hmm. Number two, are we interested in the facts anymore? Number three, why are they putting this talking point out now about deaths after a hurricane, not during a hurricane? The answer right now is obvious. The media, people like Luis Gutierrez, they are not interested in helping the situation on the ground in Puerto Rico, in North Carolina, in South Carolina. Listen to me. They're not interested. Stand up, folks, and stop falling into this sucker trap these media people send for you. What do I mean by this? Trump sends out this tweet, which is accurate. He is clearly right now. Why are they relitigating Puerto Rico now? Have you even bothered to ask yourself this question, folks? Why in the middle of a potential epic tragedy here in North Carolina and South Carolina? Have you seen what's going on right now? We're going to have a potential... listen, this is going to be bad. Hurricanes are really bad. We live through them down here in Florida all the time. Are they the end of the world? No. Do I believe in hyperbolic overreactions to these things? No. Are they really bad? Yes. Listen to me. People are going to lose property. There's potential that some people tragically may lose their lives. These are very real. You ask anybody down here in Florida who went through Gene, who went through Wilma, who went through Andrew, it was a life-defining experience. Do you understand? I did not go through those, thank God. Some of my neighbors did. They will tell you about what happened to them, their house, their property, things they lost. A woman I know named Marion who lost basically her whole house right after they built it. These are real tragedies. This stuff really happened. It's not a joke. This is the time for the federal government, you would think people in the media and others, to get on board and try to help somehow. Or at a minimum, Joe, at least just report the facts. So ask yourself this simple question. Joe, why are they relitigating Hurricane Maria right now when there's another hurricane barreling ashore to the Carolinas? Why are they doing that? They're doing it to damage Donald Trump. Folks, let me ask you this question. How many detailed studies have you seen about post-hurricane deaths after a hurricane? In other words, they didn't happen during a hurricane, because we know 3,000 people did not die during Hurricane Maria.
Right.
How many studies have you seen measuring the impact afterwards? Very few.
Very few.
Why are you seeing these numbers right now? 3,000 deaths after Puerto Rico. Listen, this is great. This is great that we can have this data to improve. I don't mean it's great that it's great that studying this stuff. This is good, and we should do this so we can study how to fix the disastrous response in Puerto Rico in the future. But you have to ask yourself, why are they putting these numbers out right now? They're putting these numbers out now to damage Trump before this hurricane even lands ashore, to make sure the storyline sets in that he's an incompetent president. We need to know what happened in Puerto Rico. But the evidence that the logistical response by local government on the ground in Puerto Rico was entirely inaccurate is everywhere. Yet what's the media focusing on? Donald Trump, not Carmen Cruz, the San Juan mayor. Not the governor or the locals in Puerto Rico. Ladies and gentlemen, I was on NRA TV yesterday, and producer Denise from NRA, producer Joe here, producer Denise there, was kind enough to put together a headline montage of all of the debacles on the ground afterwards that led to the horrible, horrific death of 2,970 plus people afterwards. This is an epic scale human tragedy. These people died. This isn't some talking point. But you have to ask yourself, why are they putting this out now when they haven't traditionally done this? They're putting it out now not to solve the problem like we're trying to do. Why was millions of bottles of water that FEMA, a federal government entity, delivered to Puerto Rico, left on a runway to rot in the sun? Why was food being stolen? Why was food being left in warehouses for rats to eat? Why was equipment being hoarded and not used for rescue and response? Why was rebuilding equipment being hoarded in government facilities? Why was that happening? That's Donald Trump's fault? You want him to deliver this stuff himself? He can only, he's not a monarch. He can only order some kind of a federal response based on the assets he has at his disposal. They can't hand deliver every single thing. They're doing this now because these are sick people, folks. They don't care about these tragic deaths in Puerto Rico. They don't care about that at all. They care about a political narrative of Donald Trump. Folks, do you know how many people suffered in Hurricane Sandy when Barack Obama, Tropical Storm Sandy, it was a superstorm Sandy, up in the Northeast? My father lived through it. Do you know how long that went on? The gas lines? My father, his mother-in-law, my parents are divorced. His mother-in-law, who's since deceased, needed oxygen. They were running out of oxygen at one point. They couldn't find a hotel room. This was happening for everyone. Where was the widespread criticism of Barack Obama? I'm not suggesting they should have, by the way. Let's be clear on this, Joe. Criticize. It's not Obama's job or the federal government to fix every local logistics problem on the ground. I'm not going to be a hypocrite on this. But I'm just saying, if you're going to be consistent and every single problem that happened in Puerto Rico, despite billions of dollars in aid shipped to Puerto Rico, the known problems on the ground, hoarding of materials, theft of materials, the rotting of food supplies. If you're going to blame that on Trump, then it's only fair to blame the Superstorm Sandy disaster on Obama. The problem is, although it may be fair, it's not right. It's not right. And again, it speaks to the sick media narrative, this is sick stuff, that when a Democrat is in office, you will protect him at all costs, or her. You will insulate him from any blame on anything. And when a Republican's in office, especially a Donald Trump type that's not a swamp rat, you will do anything you can at the worst, most disgusting times when a hurricane's barreling ashore to create a new narrative. It's not about the facts. It's about a story. And the story is Donald Trump is incompetent, and they will do anything they can to do this. And what's driving me wild, Joe, is you go to Twitter and you see these fake conservatives, these phony rhino, pardon my French, folks, ass-kissing losers on Twitter. Wow, that was an opportune tweet. Why? Why? Donald Trump's not allowed to fight back? So let me get this straight. We're supposed to all accept the narrative now because the hack media put it out, Joe. We're all supposed to accept this now, that Donald Trump is responsible for 3,000 deaths in Puerto Rico despite a massive federal response. And we're not supposed to say anything back at all because the media said it's true. You see all these whiny conservatives that go to Twitter. I've been looking at them all morning. I had a totally different show planned, and then this came up, and Joe sent me that Gutierrez thing, and I haven't been this fired up in a long time about this stuff because it's really, really disgusting. Listen to me. You fake conservative frauds out there. Man, Donald Trump stepped in and out. He didn't step in anything. You stepped in it. But do me a favor. Exit stage right on the movement. Just leave because you're a bunch of frauds. I know what you're looking to do. For those of you looking to get in this business, Joe knows this because I talked to him off the air. And Joe can vouch for me on this. If you are looking to get in this business, this content creation space as a conservative or libertarian, whatever it is, you're looking to author content by writing, you're looking to put out audio content on a podcast, you have a radio show you want to start, you want to do videos, Facebook videos on conservative content, let me warn you right now. Take notes and take this down, and you will remember it later on. The minute you gain a following, a lot of these think tank losers who have never had real jobs, fake conservative authors who got their jobs because of daddy, like that slob Podhoretz over there, and half of these other idiots out there on Twitter, they will be the ones that will attack you as viciously, if not more viciously, than the left. Mark my words. Joe, am I right or am I right?
Count on it, bro. You're right.
Count on it. Ask anyone in this movement who has gained any kind of a following. Listen, you know me. I don't do resume stuff. But I was a guy who spent 12 years in the Secret Service, 4 years with the NYPD. I started 2 businesses. I did 2 graduate degrees. I'm very proud of what I've done. Very proud. Ran for office 3 times, nearly won one, wrote 3 best-selling books. Who cares? The point is, I worked really hard to get here. I put my name on a ballot. I campaigned. That's how I met Joe. I met him at a studio doing a radio interview when I was running for the U.S. Senate and pulled off a huge upset winning the primary. Nobody knew me. We beat 10 other guys. I've established the bona fides to have a voice in this. You may not like my voice, that's fine. But these conservative losers, they're fake conservatives. They will be the first ones to go after you. I bring this up, not to bring myself into this. I bring it up to describe to you how bad and organized this group of swamp rat losers is. You have to see this morning. Oh my gosh, Trump, he really stepped in it. He stepped in it. He is being de facto accused, Joe, of snuffing out the lives of 3,000 Puerto Ricans despite an overwhelming federal government response and hard evidence on the ground. Hard evidence. Yeah. Headlines, reports that the locals in Puerto Rico, the San Juan mayor, Carmen Cruz, the governor, that the local power companies, that the locals screwed this up. And you're accusing this guy of snuffing out the lives of 3,000 Puerto Ricans? These are Americans, too. You're accusing him of snuffing at us, and he's supposed to sit back there and take it, and you cowardly dogs, you learned helpless dogs, just sit there. He really stepped in it now. What a bunch of spineless losers. Listen, this president is not perfect. Of course not. He's far from it. I have been absolutely crystal clear on my objections to some of these policies, tariffs and other ones. If you're a listener to the show, you know that. They're all there for you to listen. We don't delete shows, even when we screw stuff up. We just correct it later. Folks, this is nonsense. These fake conservatives out there. Look up Seligman's study on learned helplessness. You will understand exactly what I'm talking about. How if you were to, it's a horrible study, but what they used to do on animal testing, it's back in the day before the ethics of it were challenged, thankfully so, where they would shock these animals and they would not let them get away. It was horrible. I'm not suggesting we should redo this. I'm just saying that research is out there. And what happens eventually, these animals stop trying to get away because they learn to be helpless. That's what learned helplessness is. Right. They learn to be helpless because they can't escape it. This is what happened with this class of non-warrior, fake conservative, fraud, jellyfish, spineless losers, is they're so used to being beat down by the media over and over again that even when they know that this Puerto Rico story, however tragic it is, and it is, they absolutely know from experience that this is being put out there now to pin the deaths of 3,000 people on Donald Trump disingenuously. And you'll have these cowards who will fall right in the trap and instinctively, instead of going after the media that's doing it, they'll go after people who are they'll go after Trump himself. Oh, Trump, he shouldn't be tweeting that now. He shouldn't be tweeting that now.
Oh, man.
Maybe the media shouldn't be trying to pin 3,000 deaths on him right before a hurricane comes ashore. Did you ever think of that? You learned helpless dogs? I'm seeing one of them now, this Noah Rothman goof who tweets me all the time. He's on Fox now, another goofball. Suckers, swamp suckers, all of them. You know, I spoke to someone recently, I'm not going to say who, brought up this, talking about another prominent conservative out there. Always eager to attack Trump in scenarios just like this, where the media, let me be clear what I'm talking about. The media puts out a false narrative, not a false fact, a false narrative. 3,000 people did die after Hurricane Maria. Yeah. That's not the question. The question is, was it the fault of the hurricane? Was it the fault of the federal government response? Joe, that's the question.
Got it. Yeah.
The answer the media puts out in a false narrative is that that's Donald Trump's fault. The Washington Post op-ed story even blamed this coming hurricane on Trump, saying he's, quote, complicit. Instead of challenging that narrative and saying, wait, time out. The fake commentariat class, the Podhoretz, Rothman people, and other folks like that, what they've done in the past is they'll go after Trump because they're so used to being learned helpless, to this falling into this learned helplessness category, that they immediately have to, because they have to lick the boots. They have to lick the boots of the DC swamp class to appear serious, Joe. That in order for them to appear serious, they have to right away go to attacking Trump without analyzing and saying to themselves, wait, is this in fact right? Is this story being linked to Donald Trump an accurate narrative, or is this narrative false and being done to set up Trump before this other dreadful hurricane comes ashore? Is this being used to set him up to make him look incompetent? And therefore it's a political narrative and not fact-based journalism.
Boom!
They don't ask any of that because they grovel. They need the scraps from the table. They sit there and suckle. These guys are grifters. They are total grifters in every respect. This is what they do. This is all they do. They know that they can cater up and kiss the collective asses of the respected commentariat class who've been wrong about just about everything. They want to kiss the ass of that commentariat class, so they say, well, what do I do? Well, we got to attack Trump because everybody said it's the cool thing to do. It reminds me of these dorks on the playground growing up, trying to kiss the butts of the jocks to try to pretend like they were the cool and athletic type when they couldn't even throw a football. This is who these losers are. They are losers. Folks, you listen to me. I'm going to leave it at this because I do have a lot to cover today. You have to toughen up. I'm not lecturing anybody, but I sent out a tweet yesterday. One of the greatest things you can do to increase the likelihood of happiness in your life. Happiness, remember, as the author of The Natural put in his book, Malamud, which is one of the greatest quotes ever. True happiness will only be found through suffering. We all live two lives, the one we learn from and the one we live after that. You have to suffer a little bit, and I promise you will find true happiness. I'm trying to be like your preacher here. I'm just saying there is no shallow happiness is not happiness at all. It's fake. The only way you'll understand what true happiness is by taking on a little suffering and taking on this fight. We have to toughen up big time. And we have to learn to fight these people at every opportunity because the social pressure now on Twitter amongst the commentariat ass-kissing, boot-licking crowd, and I'm talking about on our side, is, man, you better pile on Donald Trump right now. What a poorly timed tweet. No. It's time for us to pile on these idiots. These idiots. You'll see it. I can start naming names. And I don't know what they've tweeted about this, but I can tell you in the past, my history with Rothman, with Podhoretz, with some of these other dorks out there supposedly on our side, is they're wrong about everything. They have minimal followings at best, and they hate anyone who doesn't tote the ass-kissing swamp rat line. Anyone, because they want to seem like the serious ones, despite the fact when you hear them talk, they're wrong about just about everything all the time. We have to toughen up, folks. Stop falling prey to the social media mob. I tweeted that out yesterday. That's what I was going to say. Let me finish my thought. I tweeted out yesterday, one of the best things you can do to increase the quality of your life is learning to ignore the social media mob. Sorry, I didn't finish that thought. Learn to ignore the social media mob. Learn to ignore what I'm not saying. When you would disagree with Donald Trump, by the way, don't say it. We're not golden calf worshipers. And nothing bothers me more, by the way, when I get an email from someone who blindly follows Trump or anyone else.
All right.
Hey, you're wrong about that. Meanwhile, what I said was factually correct. What I'm suggesting to you is this president is right a lot more often than he's wrong. And the commentariat class wants to socially pressure you through these cowards, these chumps, these can't throw a football, wannabe dorks on the playground, are so desperate to join the cool kids that they're trying to pressure you to attack Trump too. Forget it. Don't fall prey to it. Learn to ignore the social media mob and fight back. It will dramatically improve the quality of your life. You will suffer a little bit in the short run, but in the long run, you'll at least know you stood for something. These guys are fakes. They are total frauds. They know damn well what happened in Puerto Rico. They know damn well that was a local response disaster. They know darn well that that electric grid was collapsing based on horrendous mismanagement. They know darn well that that water sat there on the runway. They know darn well that those food supplies were being eaten by rats. They've read the headlines about people stealing relief supplies, hoarding them. But it's in their interest to save their butts. To save their butts by pretending to play both sides. Let me just... I'm sorry, there's a couple thoughts I didn't finish, and I don't like when I don't do that, but I'm just obviously quite upset about what's going on right now. Because I live in a hurricane zone. Instead of talking about helping the people of Carolinas, we're talking about a media narrative about how Donald Trump killed 3,000 people in Puerto Rico. And the commentariat class on our side are a bunch of buffoons. I mentioned before, a person I spoke to brought up a great point. He said that a lot of these prominent conservative critics, Joe, that they think what they're doing is they already believe the Trump presidency is going to be a failure because they don't understand Trump. They don't understand the people who voted for him. These are people who have existed in think tanks. These are people who have never had real jobs, many of them. These are people who've existed solely in politics. So what do you have, Joe? You get like a David Jolly type, this discredited politician down here in Florida who finds like all he needs is a pathway. So his pathway he sees, because he was a Republican in name only. He sees his pathway as attacking Trump. So what they do is they think it's going to be a failure. So what they want to do is they want to play both sides. They don't want to give up their grifter game, right? Their grifter game is this. They know that Trump has a good body of support across America. 35, 40% of the electorate who supports either strongly or even softly this president. They know that. Now, Joe, you're in this business here and on terrestrial radio.
Yeah.
So, well, you've probably seen this. Although your hosts are pretty pro-Trump guys, but I'm not knocking them. But so what's happening, folks, is they don't want to lose the money they get because they're grifters from their audience. Am I wrong, Joe?
No,
so what do they do? They try to play both sides. Yeah. They come out and they're like, oh, well, Trump's not so bad. Blah, 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 blah. Meanwhile, they ignore the fact that not only is he not so bad, he's been terrific. Right. Tax cuts, deregulatory reform. They just don't like his personality. New rules. Don't care at all about his personality. They ignore all of that because they're grifters. So they don't want to give up on the Trump audience. So they play both sides because they don't have principles. Oh, he's okay. He's okay. And then the minute something goes wrong and Trump sends a tweet that's perfectly within his right to do so, to fight back against a false narrative that he killed 3,000 Puerto Ricans, they sense an opening, Joe. And although they want to hold on to it, They want to also make sure later on, when they're sure that the Trump presidency has failed, because they don't believe in any of this at all, they can say, hey, look at me on the record in the past criticizing him for all this other stuff. Folks, make no mistake, that is exactly what's happening.
There you go. You got it.
These are grifters who are not willing to sacrifice their audience at all because they want the money. Folks, I've had jobs. I've invested. I don't need any of this anymore. I live a quite frugal lifestyle in a normal neighborhood. You know, my life is A-okay. I am here because I want to be here, and I've never said anything on this show I'm not willing to back up, and I've never said anything on this show to worship the golden calf of any politician, Trump included. I don't know what you're getting anywhere else, but I'm telling you, on a large swath of those shows, these fake phonies out there, that they play both sides of the fence. I know it. Because I know the people that deal with some of them. They say they defend Trump to not lose the money, but they really quietly hate this guy, want him to fail. They know he's going to fail, and every opportunity they can to take what they're telling you is a principled stance. It's not. It's their principles, which are money. They attack him at every opportunity to later go back when this presidency, when they think it fails, to say, oh, look, man, I wasn't knee deep in the Trump wave. Look at me, man. Look at me. Listen, you know exactly who I'm talking about. A lot of you do. And a lot of you work in this space, know people in your space who do exactly that. There is no need for blind allegiance to this president. None. Nobody should ever do golden calf stuff. But this relentless effort, like we saw today, to attack this president when he simply is attacking back a disingenuous, horrendous narrative that he is somehow responsible, despite an overwhelming effort to avoid catastrophe in Puerto Rico for the deaths of 3,000 Puerto Ricans, and your first instinct is to go after the president for fighting back? Nah, that's not principled. You're just a big wuss, man. You're the chump in the schoolyard who can't throw a football. You are a dork. I'm sorry. You're trying to play the cool kids. It's so pathetic. It is. I can't believe it. I'm on Twitter and I cannot believe the just bankrupt intellectual stupidity every day from these and some of the, one more thing, folks, some of these people on these kids, listen, God bless you for being involved, but some of these fake little rhino kids, they're like 18 years old. They write for these blogs that have like 10 viewers, and they're the first ones like, this is some crazy stuff right here from Trump. What do you know? I'm sorry. I'm not. Listen, when I was 18, I was very involved in politics, but I didn't. What do you know? Listen, maybe sit back and learn a little bit. Take the cotton out of your ears and jam it in your mouth. What do you know at 18 years old? 19, 20, writing about Trump. What do you know? Are you serious? I'm not knocking anybody that age. You can change the world too, and I'm glad you get involved. Some of these kids go overseas and take a bullet for us in our military. I'm simply suggesting that maybe you should acknowledge what you don't know. Joe, how old are you?
Oh, 60 plus.
I'm 43 years old. Joe looks damn good for. I've only asked him that 1,000 times because he looks. I'm serious. He looks so young.
I've been mummified. Yeah.
Joe, can you? I mean, seriously, how? If there was a body of knowledge, right? Yeah. Do you feel like that every day? Like if there was, say, the body of knowledge was a pool filled with 100 gallons, how many gallons of that body of knowledge do you feel you have? I'll tell you, I probably have about one.
That's it. You got more than I do, brother. Yeah, you do.
We learn something new every day. I'm 43. I've been through multiple careers, runs for office, book writing, the Secret Service, 3 presidents. Folks, I talk about what I know on this show and what I can prove.
Yeah, every day.
You got these 18-year-old kids on Twitter writing for these dopey blogs. Oh, Trump, man, what a real loser. He did it. Dude, what do you know?
They haven't had a cupful.
You haven't had a cup of coffee in life yet. You haven't been out there. Go mop a floor. Have you had a kid fall and scrape his knee, had to take to the doctor yet? Have you had a kid, God forbid, come down with a serious illness? Have you watched your kid finish last in some kind of swimming race and cry on your shoulder? Have you had a job where your boss brings you in the office and tells you, that really sucked do that over right now and you walk out and you're like a broken man for like a half an hour? Like, what just happened in there? Have you ever had to miss a mortgage payment because you were running for office and had to explain to your wife that there's no money left? Have you ever had to do that? If the answer is no to those questions, maybe you should sit down and shut up for a little while. I'm just saying. One particular snot nose bothered me like crazy today. That's why I bring that up. Maybe dial it back a bit and eat an ounce of the humility cake. It tastes good. All right. We got to move on because I got a lot of stuff.
I haven't seen you like this for a long time, dude.
No, it's Joe. It's ridiculous. You sent me that cut this morning, and I'm like, with Gutierrez, and I just can't believe it. I just can't imagine in the Secret Service, in that job I was in, I can't imagine if we were in a real crisis situation. I could think of one in Kingston, Jamaica, where it was real. Like we were going to get hurt. We were a few minutes if we didn't do. I can't imagine not actually solving the problem. We were in an alleyway with a bunch of people with machetes with a protectee, and we had nowhere to go. Thank God we had an armored car and got the hell out of there when we did. But the boss was a smart guy, and he didn't sit there and go, yeah, there are people with machetes. What do you think we should do here? He was a tough guy who made a tough decision with a protectee who didn't want to leave. We threw her in the car, and we got the hell out of Dodge, and luckily we got out of there with our scalps together. I can't imagine in the Secret Service ignoring the problem to focus on complaints about people who highlight the problem. Donald Trump highlights a problem in his tweet. I did not kill 3,000 people in Puerto Rico, you idiots, right? So he highlights this problem in this tweet. And instead of us saying, you know what, that's a problem, this media narrative is interjecting itself into what should be a disaster response right now. I can't imagine in the Secret Service, a guy says, hey, listen, Joe, Air Force One's about to land and they have 2 blown engines. Really? Let's chat about that. Okay, sit down, guys. Let's play a little Parcheesi for you. Don't do this is what the commentariat class does. They focus on the deliverer of the bad news to kiss up to the swamp class. It's pathetic. It's pathetic and it's sickening. I cannot imagine this in my prior line of work. If you complain for a second, they'd be like, "Is your job done? Did you secure the site? Tactical, medical, chem bio, IED, airborne fire response." Do we have chem lights? Do you have an emergency path, an alternate motorcade route? No, I want to just sit here and complain a little bit about the messenger. Shut up and get back at your job. And you'd be humiliated for being an idiot. I am really, really tired of the fake swamp rat commentary class. I'm telling you, go to Twitter and look at the fraud conservatives who are more upset at Trump for fighting a false narrative than they are at the media for suggesting Trump killed 3,000 people while a hurricane's barreling down in Carolina. Idiots. Darn right, Joe. Need a little break there. All right, today's show brought to you by our buddies at Filter.
I got that one. Tanya, come on. Come on. Come on, Tanya. Tanya, come on. Come on. Don't slip and fall.
To change your filter.
Whereas Miriam's, I don't know, she's around. She's been bouncing in and out of here, I think. Be in front of the coffee maker. Here, I see you. That would be nasty.
Should we go with Google? Yeah. You know what? Let's go with the Google stuff because this is really damaging and it's been hot on the minds of my audience, and I understand why. Folks, listen, Tucker Carlson's been all over this on Fox. We are going through, there's no question out there. The question I'm going to pose to you is how to solve this problem, not that the problem exists. And the problem is this. The tech tyranny, as Tucker calls it, and he's right. We have these tech companies out there, Google, YouTube, email companies, Facebook, Twitter, that are unquestionably far left-leaning companies that are having a deep impact on our society in what is the new public space of ideas. The public space right now is not the outdoor town square where everybody would get together and scream and yell about their politics and go home and have dinner and maybe wash, rinse, repeat the next day. Mm-hmm. The new town square are these social media platforms where people exchange ideas. I am not denying the fact that the suppression of conservative thought on these platforms is a very big deal. It is a huge, enormous problem. I have simply suggested in the past, and I'm disagreeing with a lot of my conservatives, but again, I'm here to tell you the truth, not to BS you. You're free to disagree, but that's what makes the show a healthy exchange of ideas here. I don't think government interference is the path here. I think this is exactly what the Democrats want. I think whenever you introduce government, you introduce problems. Government will always have a liberal bias, and we will have essentially a fairness doctrine for the internet, which would be a disaster. You would see sites like Breitbart and others, Conservative Review, who would possibly have to put rebuttal articles to any of their articles they put out there that are fact-checked, quote. This could be a real problem in the future. Now, there's a caveat to that. The caveat to that is when it comes to electioneering, that is a different ball of wax. When it comes to election messaging, we absolutely have to have a set of government standards in place so that conservative and Republican candidates are not banned from Google. Now this would be against certain FEC violations now. But ladies and gentlemen, it's getting worse. We're having kind of this soft suppression, in some cases hard suppression of conservative candidates and conservative ideas. When it comes to electioneering, these companies absolutely have to abide by the law. And it's becoming clearer by the day that they are circumventing the law by engaging in things like get out the vote efforts when they know those get out the vote efforts are targeted at specific Democrat communities. Now, Breitbart got an exclusive piece of audio from a post-Trump election, Clinton election when Trump won, a post-election conference they had with their employees, Googlers or whatever they call them. Joe, just play a quick 1 minute of this, and you'll see how radically far left this company is.
I know this is probably not the most joyous TGIF we have had. Most people here are pretty upset and pretty sad because of the election.
I'm glad we're getting together at a moment like this.
And I think it's a very stressful time.
It's been an extraordinarily stressful time, I'm sure, for many of you. There is a lot of fear within Google.
I'm seeing Googlers who are full of fear.
There are people who are very afraid.
They're full of fear about the future. They're full of fear about what the uncertainty means for them and their families.
It's uncertain for many of us here, especially immigrants or minorities, women,
blacks, people who are afraid based on religion, the LGBTQ community.
I would just advise us all to be calm. There's a GCOM place that you can go to and just take a breath.
Healing is a process. It does take time.
As an immigrant and a refugee, I certainly find this election deeply offensive.
What? Fear? You find it offensive as an immigrant? What did you find offensive? What was offensive about the American people exercising their right to vote when you're the most powerful search engine in the history of humankind? Not hyperbole, by the way. Mm-hmm. What's so offensive? Do you think these are appropriate comments? Now, at your kitchen table, Joe, fair game. Obviously, I am an avid supporter of the First Amendment. Full stop. But as a corporate entity responsible for the largest amount of search engine optimization, search engine queries in the entire world, you think maybe it not be a good idea for you to get up in front of your employees in a TGIF session or whatever the hell you do over there and start talking about how awful the election results the American people chose were? Who thought this was a good idea at Google? Folks, Again, I do not support government intervention in Google's business model. If I know that bothers some of you, and I appreciate your emails. I read them. I'm thankful for them, and we're free to disagree. Some of you are clamoring for government intervention here. I think it is an enormously bad idea. Don't they have that DuckDuckGo now? And you're already seeing other people come in who are not discriminating against political content and conservative content, who are trying to combat this Google nonsense going on, right? Mm-hmm. Now, I believe in the free market approach. Having said that, when it comes to elections, folks, that is entirely different. If the federal government can't guarantee that the new public space is free for both parties to compete in those ideas, and Google is going to, after an election, profess to its employees that the results are offensive, that they're in fear, that this is a stressful time. Stressful for what? Maybe it's stressful for you. Maybe some employees in there. Now, folks, why is this a big deal, though? Think about it. If you're an employee in Google, Joe, and you're listening to this in the audience, is it not now crystal clear where your management that's going to pay you and promote you stands on the political aisle? Joe, is there any guesswork after listening to that? No. Zero. I'm making the okay sign, 0, which idiots think is the white power sign after even more idiots pointed this Zena Bash out for the... I'm serious. I'm sitting here making the okay sign. I'm actually stopping myself because I'm like, gosh, if we were on video right now, I'd have some delirious idiot on the left say we were making a white power sign falling for a 4chan hoax. Folks, it is out of control. But on the FEC front, someone at the FEC, if this comes up that Google was involved in any kind of soft campaign donation to either side, whether it was get out the vote efforts, which are not illegal, but get out the vote partisan efforts would absolutely be against the rules if that was not in fact declared as some kind of a campaign donation. This is the kind of stuff that has to absolutely be enforced. Electioneering should be fair and square. We're not going to have a constitutional republic anymore. This kind of stuff is out of bounds. Now, there's another story. Joe, don't let me forget to bring up my story, too, because I try not to interject myself in this, but I want to tell you what's going on with us, too. All right. Because we took a little bit of hit in our numbers, and something's going on with us, too. And I want to tell you what's happening out there. But, so just to be clear what I'm saying, I do not support any interventions in their business model. If Google wants to be jerks and discriminate against conservative content, we should all not use Google. Like I said, there are other alternatives coming out there now. I will not change my mind on that because the government, whenever we interject the government into this, always ends up badly for conservatives. Always. Every time. The government will never default in our direction. But on the election front, the FEC has got to get involved here. And if it is election-related content, electioneering, or messaging content paid for by people who are using this for political messaging, this should be free and fair forums. Now, what happened with Twitter? Twitter rejected an ad for the Center for Immigration Studies. I don't know if you saw this story, Joe, for including the term illegal alien.
Yes, I did see it.
In the tweet. Are you kidding? They called it a hateful content or hate language. What? That's a legal term. Right. If you are an alien in this country, an alien, a legal term meaning not a legal resident of the United States, and you are here illegally, illegal alien is a legal term. This is, again, an effort by leftists at Twitter, another left-leaning company, to redefine the language, to declare people who use legal terminology bigots just because they say so, not because they're actually bigots. This is what they do. I've talked about the redefinition of language in the past, how the left constantly changes the rules on language. Why? I've used this in terms of when they refer to people in the LGBT community. They will constantly change acceptable terminology, what it is and what it isn't. Mm-hmm. They're not doing it because they believe people are inherently have anything wrong or have any negative feelings towards people in the LGBT community. They do it because it's a cynical strategy, because if you don't use the right term, because they change it like that, they want to call you a bigot. Why? Because they want people not to vote for you. This is what they do. They're doing this now with the term illegal alien, which is an appropriate legal term. They're doing this now. Twitter, well, we're not going to let you use that term. Now, this is a paid ad This is what would happen now. The reason I bring this up in terms of electioneering, I did not, and Google, which is clearly fell on one side of the political spectrum, there are now credible allegations that they may have been involved in a get out of vote scheme, specifically targeting Democrats, even though they didn't say that. But I think people knew. Now we have with this illegal alien thing with Twitter. Joe, what if you're a conservative running in California or elsewhere and you have a problem with illegal immigration and you put illegal alien in one of your campaign speeches? Are you going to be banned from Twitter too?
Mm-hmm.
Folks, it's a serious question.
Mm-hmm.
These are real questions. Again, I'm a free marketeer and a capitalist, make no mistake. But when it comes to electioneering and free and fair elections, you seem so eager to blame the Russians for election interference, but you're fine with tech companies absolutely openly interfering with elections themselves? If I were to, I'm not running for office again, let me be clear on that. But if I were, and I wanted to put out an ad on Twitter, Joe, talking about the immigration problem, illegal aliens in the tweet, is that banned too? How are you not interfering with elections? Is you not banning the term, trying to make me out to be something I'm not, some kind of xenophobe, just by banning the term and making us look bad? Is that not electioneering? Are you not engaged in electioneering yourself? These are serious questions. This isn't a joke. Folks, the FEC was going to have to get involved in this eventually. This has gotten entirely out of control. Google is free to give any speech it wants. But the fact that Google and this Get Out the Vote campaign, if this was in any way, and there's any evidence whatsoever, this was designed to benefit one party, then this is a big, big no-no, and the FEC has got to start looking into this. You should not be getting involved in elections. I'm not, again, for the 10,000th time, I'm not suggesting they want to discriminate against conservative content, kick people off, do what you want. I am not, I don't believe that the government has any role in that. But on elections, it is totally and completely different. You cannot have one side running for office, Joe, that is systematically kicked off Twitter, kicked off Google, banned from Google, Facebook spam, their email lists are spam. We cannot have that. There would be an information asymmetry that would unquestionably alter the tide of American politics. Now, folks, this is the reason I'm fired up about a lot of this stuff today, too, is this has been happening to us increasingly more and more and more. Okay. I don't like to whine about my stuff on the air because I just feel like people do that to get sympathy, and I'm not looking for anybody's sympathy. I'm like I told you at the beginning of the show, I'm fine. I've got backup plans for everything. I need you to do me some favors, though, if you would be so kind. Up to you. No pressure, but I'm asking you humbly to do us some favors. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's youtube.com. I think it's /Dan Bongino, but you'll see it, all our libraries up there. Please subscribe to our email list. We don't buy emails. We don't. Our email list is growing. Please visit Bongino.com. I'll tell you in a second while I'm bringing this up. It'll make sense. This is not just an ask for the sake of asking, right, okay? Yeah. I never make this part of the show. It's always the end roll portion of the show. Folks, we're being hit on all fronts. Joe releases the show no later than 12:30 Eastern Time noon. A lot of you wait for the show on my email list. I'm asking you to please subscribe to my email list. I'll tell you why in a second. But if you want to listen to the show, you don't have to wait. You can go to Bongino.com, and my wife, after she gets the embed code from Joe, puts it up at no later than 12:30. It is there for you. Please listen to the show. Someone spammed our email list. They stole our email thing. It's a complicated story, but we do not sell your email. We do not. Now, we put a banner at the top of her. We do not sell your email. We do not buy email lists. Ladies and gentlemen, you can take this to the bank. We do not buy email lists. Our emails and you subscribing to our emails is you doing it on your own volition. We do not spam anyone. We send out an email every weekday, just one. Somebody basically attacked our system, and a lot of you have been emailing me and saying, well, Dan, I'm not getting your emails. They're going to my spam. We're trying to clear up the problem now. It's costing my wife an inordinate amount of time. Our numbers went down, not a lot, but enough that it made an impact on our show. And I believe it's because people were not getting our daily show. That's why I'm asking you to voluntarily please subscribe to my email list, because your voluntary subscriptions help our open rate go up when you open our emails, which gives us a counter argument to these companies that are suggesting we spam people because we had someone infiltrate our system. I know it's a little complicated. That's one attack. The YouTube account. Subscribe to the YouTube. Please listen to the videos if you can. If not, listen on iTunes. I don't care where you listen, really. But at least subscribe to our YouTube account. Our YouTube account every day gets flagged. Why does it get flagged? Folks, there's no explanation they've ever given us. The only thing that makes sense is it's a conservative podcast. They get flagged every day. If you're listening on YouTube, this video is maybe 50-60% of them get flagged. So we can't pay for them. This stuff costs money to put out there. Our Facebook videos, that's why I stopped doing Facebook Live. I'll maybe start doing them again in the future, but I stopped putting them out. Why? Our Facebook videos were getting spammed. This is spam on your Facebook. We were banned from running ads on Twitter. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not a controversial show. We do facts here. It may be emotional, it may be passionate, but we do facts and data here. It's a very reasoned show. We back up our sourcing with show notes every day. Twitter banned us from running ads for, quote, inappropriate content, which is total crap. I mean, I could go on and on and on. I'm just trying to tell you, this show is under just constant assault, folks. And I think it's because I've been a pretty vocal, strong Trump supporter, and people just don't like that. I have no other reasonable explanation. I'm not trying to be anybody's martyr. My life is great. I'm not anybody's victim. I'm a fighter. I relish a good fight, but I can't get in this fight without you. That's my ask to help us fight back. Please sign up from our email list and open them. It helps our open rate, and it helps us make the case, despite these constant attacks. We are not a spam account. Please sign up for our YouTube. It's all free. Subscribe to it. Please follow us on Twitter. Please visit the website at Bongino.com. Read the Debunk This stuff. It helps a lot. I really need your help, folks. It's just, this has been going on. Joe knows about it. It's been going on for months now with the YouTube, with the constant delisting and the attack on our campaign, our email account. It's just nonstop. And I need your help to get past it, so I really appreciate it. So, all right, I got a couple more things to get to. I had a new sponsor, folks. These guys are really cool, by the way. I don't know about you, but
I got that one, too. Yeah, I usually am, man. I was just, I was zoning out. I blame Don and his smudge, man. Don's fudge has got me fucked up. And I was just staring at the chat, and the damn ad just kept on playing, and I didn't even realize it. I was just listening to it. I'm like, oh, yeah, Wax RX. Great shit. Oh shit, Dallas, I'll just mail you a few, man. He sent me about £5 in that shit. I'm gonna be snacking on that for a while. Whew. Oh, and then I drank some wine too. But anyway, that's
they're premium because they
own. Still ain't done. I think I got Baby Bear sniffing around. Right on. Deborah's like, I want some.
Wonderful looking jeans. They're my new go-tos. They are $200 designer jeans for half the price. Plus, they have a September savings event, meaning you'll save 20% on everything at Mott and Bow. That's MOTT and bow.com/Dan.
Jesus. This is the longest commercial ever. Some big branches breaking. It's the Sam Squanch.
Another area that's kind of been irking me a little bit is this constant need for phonies on the left to claim credit for the Trump economy. It's frankly pretty sickening. I'm getting tired of it. So I have an interesting article in the show notes today, a couple of them actually, on the economy. One of them by Stephen Moore at the New York Post, which talks about a statistic you need to know and you need to understand. Because there's a myth here, folks. And, sometimes I get really wonky with the economic data and I miss the forest for the trees. I want to give you the number one key takeaway talking point for your Democrat liberal friends when they try to suggest to you that Obama handed Donald Trump an economy that was firing on all cylinders. Ladies and gentlemen, the facts do not agree with that at all. Here is the most important takeaway, and Stephen Moore talks about this in this piece, and we should never forget this. Folks, he handed him a 1.6% growth rate, Barack Obama, in his last year. That was Barack Obama's last year in office. That is not in dispute. No one's questioning that statistic. The growth rate, how we measure growth, unsurprisingly, the gross domestic product, the rate of growth was 1.6%. Donald Trump over the last 18 months has nearly doubled that at a 3% growth rate. Now, what makes this even worse, so that number, I want you to keep that number always in your head, because if he handed him off a motoring economy, how come the economy he handed off to him's growth rate is now twice as much than what Obama handed Trump? These are very simple, basic, elegant questions that your friends should be able to answer if their facts are in fact true. They are not. They will avoid the question completely and duck it. Now, I bring that up because Obama had said repeatedly that a lot of these jobs and and his economic advisors, including Larry Summers, had said repeatedly when they left office that you'd need a magic wand, to quote Obama, to bring these jobs back. And Larry Summers is on the record saying that 2% growth would be the best Donald Trump would do. So not only is it objectionable, folks, that Barack Obama handed Donald Trump a 1.6% growth rate and is claiming credit for the 3% growth rate since he's left office. Not only is that objectionable, what's even worse is Obama himself and his economic advisors said it wouldn't happen. So somehow taking credit now after he leaves office for something he didn't do, number one, and number two said would never happen, is so entirely disingenuous. It defies simple logic.
Right.
Simple logic. Think about what I'm telling you. Obama himself said, we'd have to wave a magic wand to get these manufacturing jobs back. There's been a manufacturing job resurgence. Obama's economic advisor, Larry Summers, said 2%, that's the best we can do. That's all we're going to get to. That is not, in fact, what happened. Obama handed him a 1.6% growth rate, and Donald Trump over the last 18 months has nearly doubled it. These are simple facts, folks. None of this is complicated. All right. One more story. I have a couple more. I'm going to have to get to some of it tomorrow. Right. This really was packed up. The opening of the show was important and had to be done. I'm just tired of those people. I don't seek confrontation, but when you bring it, I'm going to fight back. Folks, I have an article up from that covers Adam Schiff. Adam Schiff, Schiff Day. Yo, Schiff Day. We haven't gotten it out in a while.
Hey, Mom! The meatloaf!
We haven't got that in a while either. Our buddy Shifty's back in the news again. I just want to humbly again ask you to please go out and vote. Folks, Schiff, you read the article in the Washington Examiner in the show notes, Bongino.com. Schiff is already saying, Joe, that if they take over, he's indicating exactly what these Democrats are going to do in the House of Representatives. The next attack, they're moving up. Listen, trust me on this. Take this to the bank. Cash this check. The Democrats know the collusion narrative is a total loser. They are completely read in. It is a loser. There's nothing there. They know that. Read the article. What's Schiff's next line of attack, Joe? Now we're going to investigate the Trump Organization for money laundering. Now, keep in mind, this is just completely fabricated, exactly like collusion was. But I'm telling you, if you fail to vote and you allow tyrants like Adam Schiff who fabricate these charges out of nowhere to take over these congressional committees, this is exactly what you're going to see. Endless investigations into Trump, Joe. It is never, ever going to stop. When this money laundering, air quotes, turns out to be a nothing burger, they'll start something else. It's never going to stop. Please, the election's in 50 days or so? Get out and vote. These guys, you cannot let them take over these committees. It will be an epic disaster. All right, folks. Thanks again for tuning in. I appreciate it. Again, apologies for the harsh tone in the beginning, but, we got to take the gloves off, man. This is new rules.
New rules. We win, they lose. You dig? That's how this new shit goes down. Tired of taking crap from the goddamn liberals all the time. Yeah, my wine is it's peach and orange, man. That's my best. That's the best result that I've ever gotten out of any wine that I ever made. I've made grape wine, I've made strawberry, I made blueberry, I made blackberry, raspberry. I even made rhubarb wine one time, and it was absolutely horrible. It was almost undrinkable. Almost. I put on my big boy boots and got through it. Yeah. Dude, the wine was so sour, it was like drinking straight lemon juice, dude. Like, we put shitloads of sugar in it, too, and everything in it. And when it came out, it was sour. It was more sour than straight lemon juice. I've never drank anything so sour in my life. It was like the Super Sour Patch Kids, dude. Like every sip made you pucker like, whoa! It was the most sour thing I've ever put in my mouth in my life. It was terrible. But we drank it. Because it was still liquor. I mean, it just, yeah, it was, I'm telling you, dude, it was horrible sour. It was like, it was more sour than lemon juice. I don't know how else to put it, like a drinkable Sour Patch Kid, right? It just made your whole face suck up. Like every time you took a drink, you just like, oh, God. Stalk of rhubarb and a bowl of sugar. Hell yeah, dude. Munch and dip. Bite the end off, dip it back in the sugar, bite the end off. It's good shit, man. I like rhubarb pie. And I like just eating rhubarb with a bowl of sugar. That's pretty good. Yeah, almost. Almost too sour to drink. It was rough, though, I got to tell you. It never died. Yeah, they don't know. If you just leave it go, it'll just keep right on going, man. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I just wonder. Oh my goodness, looky there. I have in my hand, I spy with my little eye. Ain't that how they play that game? I spy with my little eye. Some bigot in a bread box. Except in this case, it's smaller than a bread box. Considerably smaller. You owe a swampy song times two. Ah, geez. Okay. I think I can do it. I think I can. But I have here in my hand a grinder. And in that grinder is a bunch of weed. I mean tobacco, Vaughn. For the Vaughn's TV people, it's tobacco. For the rest of us, it's weed. I don't want to get anybody in any trouble. I know I got a backup running over there. I don't want to offend the locals. They're good people. I like them folks over there. They came in our room and forced me to like them. Not sure I'm comfortable with that. Little Debbie's chocolate cupcake. Oh my God. Those are so good. They're so good. Oh my God. Oh my God. They're tobacco smoking accessories. That is correct, Donald Martino. I'll allow it, but next time don't forget to raise your hand. Tobacco smoking accessories, for fuck's sake. Uh-oh. Never's like me. It sounded like a bong. Holy shit. I wonder how that happened. Whew. Dallas is like, you know what? You're right. It did. It sounded just like a bong hit. I think he's smoking a bong. A bong. Well, part of it was my bong, Raul. I don't know what that other shit you were hearing was. Romper, bompter, stomper, boo. What the fuck? Whew. Now that we got that over with. I ain't quite done yet. Romper, dumpter, stompter. I don't know what that means. Holy crap. Oh my God, look at that. It's a romper, bumpter, stomper, boo. The fuck is that? Don't put it in my chowder, yeah? I don't want no romper, bumpter, stomper, boo in my chowder. Holy crap. I think I did too, Raul. I can't stop choking. Jesus. Whew, that one left a mark, man. It's alright. I'll roll up a cigar and it'll be alright. That's bound to help. Shit. What the hell did I do to myself? All right. Yeah, I'm working on that. Jesus. Wow, that was a good one. In through the nose, out through the mouth. See, that's probably part of the problem. I'm terribly congested. My nose is stuffed up like a mofo. No, I ain't dying yet. Just keep the EMTs on ready. If I turn purple and flap over and you think that I'm breakdancing, I should tell you now, I don't know how to breakdance. That's when you send in the EMTs. Holy hell. Fucking Southern Ohio. I know, right? Whoa, Stick Pat knows how to breakdance, dude. Guys, look at him go. He's got that plastic cardboard thing on the floor and he's just doing that stuff on it. Is he supposed to spin around on his head like that? Is that normal? I don't know. Look, he can even make his face go purple. How cool is that, eh? Oh, somebody warm up a bowl of chowder. He's going to be hungry after this. Thank you, Tanya. Holy shit. You're witnessing the death of Sick Pat live and on YouTube and Vaughn. This is it. I've survived prison riots. I was hit by a car. I was thrown from the bed of a truck at 70 miles an hour. I hit a deer on a motorcycle. But this is what does me in. Ain't that a fucking bitch? Come on. Yeah, I'm all congested, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I got up this morning and my nose was all plugged up, so I think like A-Tab. Fuck Murphy's life follows us all. Yeah, oh, don't talk shit about Mr. Murphy. Deborah, no, don't do that. Mr. Murphy, she didn't mean it. And my stream does not condone the views of my followers. Does not necessarily reflect the... Please don't blow up my computer, Mr. Murphy. You fucker. It's Trump's fault. Mold and ragweed. Yeah, the what do you call it? The pollen count is crazy high out here. I don't even know why. It's fall. It should be dropping. The pollen count out here is like fucking 62 or some shit. It's just been fucking with me all day yesterday and today. Real bad. But, you know, it is what it is. It's what I get for living in the country, man. Dallas. and you're near a patch of whatever the fuck it is, so you're feeling it too, right? I'm not just crazy. I'm not even like allergic to shit, and it's affecting me. So I know like people that are allergic are having they're having a terrible time. MSM is just fucking loonies, dude. Look, those people are not even rooted in reality. We talked about this the other day. I can't even believe that we take them seriously. Every time they speak to us, we should simply laugh in their face. Because nothing they say, not one word that they say, has any root in reality. And for us to keep acknowledging them as realistic beings is just kind of being codependent to their insanity, man. We're enabling their bullshit. And yes, they have gone to crazy town, honestly and completely and for true. The left, liberalism is now a mental disorder. These people are not connected to reality. I've observed it. I've been hesitant to come out and say it in those strong terms, but I'm telling you, all of the left is completely. You're reading a page behind the chat. They are completely disconnected from reality. They are suffering a psychotic break. The world they are experiencing is not the factual world that the rest of us understand to be true. And I've been awesomely opposed to the idea of mass psychosis. Well, no, not mass psychosis, but mass shared psychosis, where they have the same psychosis. Oh, but I feel fine, Tanya. Actually, I feel fantastic. I feel spectacular, actually. Thank you, Don Bear, by the way. It's just that my nose is stuffed up. I don't feel bad at all. I have no headache or anything like that. It's just my nose has been plugged up all day. Good night, Choco Loco. God, I love your company. You're a crazy person. I like you. I like you a lot. You're one of my favorites. Choco Loco is going to be on the Mount Rushmore of Patville. Patville is going to have a Mount Rushmore. It's going to be called Mount Pat. And it's going to have the 4 greatest leaders of Patopia chiseled into the mountainside, the granite. It'll be fucking fantastic. They're shooting themselves now. They are, dude. They are completely disconnected from reality. They are officially crazy people. Okay? They were so desperate to put the final nail in America's coffin that Donald Trump has literally driven them insane. He has made a third of our country lose their collective fucking minds. I'd be a trap star on the run right now. Odin taking down an ice giant. Now that's a mountain. Damn right, man. Yeah, we should carve that shit into a mountain. How epic is that? You just read that as I type this. You listen here, mister. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something, buddy. It would be wild. It'd be wild as shit. I mean, that's epic. I mean, here you go. You have Odin dragging down the last of the frost, the ice giants, you know. It'd be like the flag of Iwo Jima fight, you know? That's right, Patopia. It's all right, though. When I change my official title to General, I'm going to steal Patagonia. Ha! 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 And if they don't like it, we can fight about it. Fuck you, Patagonia! I'm stealing your name. Woohoo! Now what? I've started some shit. That's my international fucking relations, motherfucker. I don't need a State Department. Put that in your fucking State Department and smoke it, you punk motherfucker. This is Patagonia over here. I run this shit. All roads lead to Patopia. That's right, man. Option B ain't no fucking option. Just come to Patopia. We're fucking awesome over here. I'm bugging sick, Pat. Oh my God. You could never bug me, lady. You are just the most adorable little bunny rabbit of a person. I fucking couldn't ever dislike you. I made it with lots of jug salad. Now I'm on the run from the feds, man, melon. That's hilarious. She said, yeah, you're in trouble, Ron. Because he's reading older comments. I'm not reading older comments. I'm reading them as they come up on my... Maybe my brain's not firing all that quick right now. I ain't that damn fucking slow. What do you think? It does stick with you. Dude, I just drank a couple of mugs of my wine on top of that, and it's I am in absolute fucking happy town right now. 2 mugs of wine and well, let's see, what would that equal to? I got a pretty big mug. I'd say there's probably 16 ounces in a mug. So 32 ounces of 40 proof liquor, gas station vodka, and whatever, 3 balls of smudge is. I don't know how that works out. 3 is my number, by the way. I figured that out earlier today. You are an adorable bunny rabbit person. You are wonderful. I think the world needs a whole shitload more of Tanya Sharmas. Tanya's playing head games. I am far too skeptical for all that. Besides, she's got a boyfriend. And she's in Canada. She's not a farmer. Three is a dose for someone my size, and 4 is about the limit. Dude, I could totally believe that. Like I said, I ate 3, and I felt really good. And I drank a couple glasses of wine, and I feel fantastic. I'm in a really good place right now. I mean, I'm not like fucked up anyway when I get fucked up, so you know it's hard to like judge. But holy smokes, Pat! Scroll your fucking screen ahead, buddy. I'm as far down as I can go. I'm as head as I get. There's a delay on the volume. I can't, on the voice. I can't do anything about that. There's a delay between what you hear and what I read and what I say because of the encoder. Colonel's been here for minutes yet, and you haven't seen him yet. Holy shit, I didn't see the Colonel. Howdy, Colonel. Salutes the Colonel. Colonel on deck. I expect to see some salutes to the Colonel. Motherfuckers. Ain't every day there's a Colonel. Actually, kind of all every day a Colonel's on deck, but whatever. You know what I'm saying. You have no feet. Yeah, because that's like I'm not feeding anything. I'm just running my face, Colonel. This is the Pat Runs His Face segment. It's very special. I like it. We do it every show. Takes different places and different times and different subjects, but it's pretty much bound to happen. Salute the Colonel. I have lived on the farm. I'm from Saskatchewan. All right. Okay. I don't care. I was just playing along anyway. God. Holy crap. She's like, I am a farm girl, dude. Yeah, well, there goes my fucking argument, right? Back up with Dual Chat on Vaughn. That's right. We are pumping this stuff live to Vaughn right now. Vaughn Live TV //Bears Place on VaughnLive.tv/Bears Place. Bears Place. You should spell it right because I can't say it right. But you know what I mean. Coming at you live. 50,000 unstoppable watts. Why is Clutch so cool? Oh my God. I mean, wait a minute. Hold on. Let me try something here. I just want to go take a look at something. I'm not even sure this is gonna work. I'm just like, get the fuck out of the way. All right, I'm just doing this thing here.
Just dial the numbers. I'm tough.
Oh, yeah.
wallet leather? Is his wallet fat? For not a year later, it's got you lying on your back. You should have closed your windows and got another dog. You should have chained up all the doors and switched up all the locks. And how many times have I prayed? The angels would speed me away. Dream with the feathers of angels stuck beneath your head. The regulator swinging pendulum. Dream with the feathers of angels stuck beneath your head. The regulator swinging pendulum. Come with me and walk the longest mile. Come with me and walk the longest mile. Come with me and walk the longest mile. Come with me.
All right, so I'm gonna cut off the end of that. Listen, I'm gonna cut off the end of it so it's not like a big copyright issue and shit. We're not gonna play the whole thing. Listen, I encourage you guys to listen to Clutch and listen to the lyrics. This dude, he's one of those mad genius artists, okay? And a lot of people haven't like really caught on to his shit yet. And I hear a lot of wisdom in his lyrics. The regulator, he compares God to being the regulator, you know, the referee, more or less. You know, the universe continues on like the machine that it is, but God is always the referee. He makes the calls, you know. And it's a really interesting twist on the concept of God, and I really like that about them. This guy's he's a thinker. He's not just saying lyrics. Listen to what he says.
Get tough. No annual fee. Just dial the numbers.
Got to turn off the ads. Ain't that a bitch?
Well, you made me weep, and you made me moan. When you caused me to leave, child, my happy home. But someday, baby, you ain't worry my life anymore. You told everybody in the neighborhood what a dirty mistreater, that it was no good. But someday, baby,
come on. Vamonos means go away, right? Or let's go. It can mean let's go. Like if you're with your friends and you wave your hand around, you're like, vamos. I've seen them do it. Yep. Bang, 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 bang. Vámonos, vámonos. Bang, bang, bang. Oh, yeah. If I was going to sing back up, that's how I'd do it for him. Oh, Dale's spaghetti is the best. That's almost as good as Dale pizza. Dale lasagna you can chuck in the fucking garbage can.
If I had money like Henry Ford, Lord, I'd have me a woman, yeah, on every road. But someday, baby, you ain't worry my life anymore.
Now that song is called Electric Worry, right? And it's a little bit different than the first one. It's got a little bit different groove. But then you can go and you watch, you listen to a song like, where are we at? No, Jesus, I'm going to have to search it. It's not in my ready click list. All right. All right, this was an album from 1998. Uh-oh. Yeah, gotta mute that. Can't have that. No ads, eh? Yeah. Giddy up on it, giddy up on it, right on, right on. Just outside of Antietam, where once there was a mighty battle, I heard the rhythm of the hammers beating the rail lines together. Man, these guys, this is like history. There's like real live, like real American history shit in there. Clutch is a great band, and whoever writes the lyrics for this band is an artistic genius. The guy is no doubt informed about a great many things. It's one of my favorite Clutch songs is the Elephant Riders. One of my other favorite Clutch songs is the Soap Makers. Which is also on the same album with Elephant Riders. The album Elephant Riders. Skip ad. Jesus fucking Christ. You know, this dude knows something, man. Those lyrics don't just fall out of nowhere. But that's okay. I like them, man. Clutch Wishbone. I'll play that one for a while I'm going to pee.
Hey, have you seen these new...
was. Then came turkey from the oven. Broke the wishbone cup and that's was sealed and set on the losing end of a wishbone. And I won't pretend not to mind. Christmas Eve we ate at Auntie. We had some ham glazed with honey. Rolled the Yule log on the fire. Threw the ham bone to the dogs and went to bed. On the losing end of a wishbone, and I won't pretend not to mind. On the losing end of a wishbone, and I won't pretend not to mind. In the morning, the weathercock was heard, asking what we had learned of the earth. Is it a round place with deserts and oceans, housing as many winds as one might wish? We were standing by the gate. He said, "Oh my, it's getting late." Then he took off flying to the south with a black snake in his mouth. You can shake it, break it, or glue it. Oh, no two ways about it with a broke wishbone on the losing end. Shake it, break it, or glue it. Oh, no two ways about it with a broke wishbone on the losing end. For St. Patrick's we had cabbage, corned beef stew, egg salad, sandwich. Then came whiskey from the basement. Danced all night into the dawn and held our heads on the losing end of a wishbone, and I won't pretend not to mind. On the losing end of a wishbone, and I won't pretend not to mind. Losing end of a wishbone, and I won't pretend not to mind.
That transition at the end just jars your very bones, man. It's like if you aren't paying attention for the rest of this song, you will be now. Crack! There goes the base of your skull. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I like Clutch a lot, man. They're one of my favorite bands ever. Soap Makers and what's the other one? God, I can't think of the name of that song. Wow. Yeah. I wonder if I can find it this way. I'm just going to go poking around, see if I can find this song I'm looking for. I'll know it if I see it. It's not Electric Worry. Jesus Christ, quit putting Electric Worry up. Fine. I'll put on Electric Worry. Jesus Christ. There we go.
Well, you made me weep, and you made me moan. When you caused me to leave, child, my happy home.
I know you heard this already.
But someday...
Oh, wait. Hold on. We're closing in. We've got the burning beard.
The individual could be a highlight.
No, shut up. Shut up. All right. Now you don't have to shut up. This is Burning Beard, by the way.
Every day I wake up, we drink a lot of coffee and watch the CNN. Every day I wake up, do a bowl of Clover honey and let the locusts fly in. Lobster bags attack the town again. Wrap all my things in aluminum. Beams of darkness streak across the sky. Heat rays from the ancient satellites. Every time I look out my window, same three dogs looking back at me. Every time I open my windows, cranes fly in to terrorize me. The power of the Holy Ghost. The power of the Holy Ghost. Shadow of the new Praetorian. Tipping cows in fields Elysian. Saturnalia for all you have. The 7 habits of the highly infected cat.
Here we go. I found it. It's the one from Alex. Oh, come on. No. You don't want to know how I feel. You don't, because you're an ass and you're just fucking with me.
Airstreams tethered together like silver sleeping oxen. All the best locations are located on the margins, suited for telescoping the interstellar scene.
And now one of my favorite songs, The Big Worry, 1 and 2. Also from Clutch. You know what I'm saying? And this is, look, this guy, I am particularly fond of Clutch, and I'm probably a little biased, but like, you know, in just 3 albums, they convinced me they were one of my favorite bands of all times. So I think that's pretty good, you know.
Turn off your faucet when you brush, today and every day.
My other 2 are Pink Floyd and The Doors, if that gives you any indication. That's about as cool. That's about as hardcore as it comes, man. So anyway, I'm not going to play any more Clutch in case they want to try to. I don't want to push my copyright shit too far. Oh, I love the Doors, man. The Lizard King. I think my dude was crazy. I think he was crazy. There's a fine line between genius and crazy, and I think he slipped right the fuck over it. But I did love his music, man. Mike Portnoy. Oh, some Dream Theater. Oh, yeah. I keep trying to give him doses of Dream Theater here and there. I turned them all on to Change of Seasons the other night. I don't know if you caught that. I was like, hey, check out Change of Seasons. Here's a link over in Vaughn. I've been dipping their toes in it, man. Yeah, I'm working on it. I'm working on it, Canoes. I gotta bring my musical people up to speed, man. I sense that some of us are not quite on the super plane level that you and I are clearly on with the Mike Portnoy and Dream Theater. Gotta love that band. They're in my top 5. Like Pink Floyd, Dream Theater, Clutch. These are the gods of rock and roll. The Doors. I like people talk. I understand there are other bands in the universe that are cool. I get that. But these bands were revolutionary. Music would not be what it is today without these bands in the mix. You know what I'm saying? I love that when you played it. Yeah, they're great songs, man. They're great songs. And if you really like, I'm an analyzer of music. Like when I hear music, I'm like, all right, what's this dude saying? You know, what's his message? What is he really saying? And then I start listening to these lyrics, and I'm like, well, this fucking idiot's not saying nothing. He's just, he's just talking shit about bitches and hoes and fucking whatever gold he's got shoved on his teeth this week, and I'm like, that's not a story. There's no artistic or poetic value in that. I mean, yeah, it rhymes, but fuck you, I don't care. Kind of into Canadian rock, right on. Well, actually, Canadian rock is really good for that. Canadian rockers are really they really put a lot of substance. Yeah, substance. That's what I'm talking about. There's no substance in it, And like Canadian rockers, they got some substance, man. They're trying to hold true to old rocker traditions of lyrics that mean something and shit. I mean every generation has its band that puts out just nonsense, and they're fun for a minute, but usually they're one-hit wonders. I'm talking about real music, that enduring, everlasting shit. Like, who doesn't like the Righteous Brothers? You know what I'm saying? Like, Unchained Melody makes hard motherfuckers tear up. You know what I'm saying? That's like, how do you not like that? How do you not feel what that dude is talking about? There's just no way to describe music like that. It's sublime, It's beyond his era. It's beyond his music. It's sublimity. It's sublimeness. Sublimity. There I go making up words again. It's sublimeness. It's sublime.
Hungered for your touch, a long, lonely time. Then time goes by so slowly, and time can do so much. Are you still more?
Yeah, but how awesome is that, man? Couple of white boys and, you know, a violin, a piano, guitar. Sounds like they might have thrown a bass in there. And they assembled something sublime, something timeless, you know. And I don't look, that song was, let me see, what's the date on it? Originally published in 1963. Okay, so 1963 to 2017 to bake out the bitterness. A little bitter and my oven's not fixed to bake out the bitterness. Yeah, but I'm just talking about the music. I'm not even talking about like the mushy romantic side of it. I'm just saying like that's beautiful. That is a sublime work of beauty. And I know I keep saying sublime, but I don't know any other word to put in there that right, Deborah's like, yeah, I was a year old. You know, I wasn't even a twinkle in my daddy's eye yet. It's just beautiful. Everything about it. The music is beautiful. The mixing on the studio work is perfect. Nothing is too overpowering. Nothing is too underwhelming. Nothing is too anything. They really hit the mark musically with that song. The oven works eventually, but its stove need fixed. Yeah, sublime. I don't know what another, you know, there's sublime. It's beneath. It's perfect in its presentation and its form. And I don't, you know, how many things in the world are like that? You know, the Mona Lisa, Unchained Melody in music. In 1963, we had a small ice age. Yeah, there was a bunch of snow, right? From like 63 to 68 or so. Yeah, like swamps. Oh, come on. No. I'm glad you like it, though. It's not that good. It's a good song, but it's not that good. It's not sublime. It's not timeless. It is a good one, though. It'll make you tap your foot. Yeah, You've Lost That Love and Feeling is another one. They are perfectly what they are, and you don't ever want to change anything about them. And if somebody like does a cover of them songs and doesn't do it right, people get mad. That's another way you can tell. If bands cover a song and people is mad about it, you know they tried to take it out of its perfect timelessness, and they tried to do something to it that they should not have been doing. Backseat Becky. Yeah, right. But yeah, Gordon Lightfoot, geez, what a great fucking musician he is, right? Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald, another song. Look, that's a timeless piece of music, man. It about a real event in real life where people died and you know, lost and loved and whatever the fuck they did as human beings. You know, that's he's like 90 and still performs a few times. I bet he does, man. Lost power and U-Boob gave you live camera back. The power surge fucked U-Boob in the booty. Oh, that's hilarious. All right. So anyway, that's enough of that for now. I want to do other stuff for just a minute.
All right, everyone. The European Union's authorities right now are planning on punishing Hungary. Ooh, punishing them. The patronizing tone that they're striking with regards to the Hungarian people. And the threatening tone, which they're striking with Orban especially, but Hungary's government, national government at large, is exactly the wrong thing to do, will further Euroscepticism, will probably just steal the resolve of Hungary and possibly cause a Hexit to happen. This is why the European Union was fated to collapse. The problem is this: if you have a post-national authority, Nigel Farage warned of this, he was called a conspiracy theorist, now you see it on full display. It is a post-national system that is erasing national sovereignty. The problem is, so long as everyone plays by the rules, so long as you've got enough free money to simply pay off governments, like when Germany gives free money to Greece, so long as you can keep paying them off and say, well, you know, there are always going to be some problems, we'll just pay our way through them, nobody rock the boat, just do what we say, we'll take care of you, make sure that you're functioning, we'll make sure that you get your tzatziki sauce today, you know, communist government of Greece. So long as that goes along fine, there's no problem. Post-national authority can continue boiling the frog and growing more and more internally abusive, strangulated, bureaucratic, and outright totalitarian. The problem arises, of course, when someone dissents, and this is why the European Union cannot work. The dissent of the Hungarian people, which elected Orban, elected his government. He's a popular leader. He's also a populist leader. He is going to come out and say, in the wake of whatever sanctions they apply, if they apply weak sanctions, he'll say, look, the European Union is weak. We can't respect them. They said that they were going to do this and do that, and they didn't do it, ha ha ha, and he'll become more popular and more authoritarian, by the way, trust me. Or they really slam Hungary. They say, oh, fuck you, basically. We're taking this from you and taking that. We're going to send observers over to make sure you're not abusing any of the migrants that decided to stay there instead of, for some reason, going to Germany. I'm not sure why they'd want to. It's like, yes, let me stay in this nativistic country where you know, my tent will get vandalized instead of going to Germany where it's literally against the law for anyone to look at me the wrong way. I don't understand it. Why the fuck would you even want to? There's no welfare state there. It's like, just for the purposes of self-preservation, wouldn't you want to be in Germany or Sweden or something? I would. If I was a refugee or something from Syria or whatever, I'd be going to Germany. Hell, absolutely I would. Probably have more problem at that point if you're like a Shiite or an Alawite refugee. You certainly have problems considering the Wahhabi minority there in Berlin or Munich or something. But here's the thing. This is going to fuck the EU. It's not going to fuck Hungary. They can always leave the EU. If Hungary leaves, having a second country so close after Brexit, leaving, or even having a serious proposal for a Eurosceptic move like that, even having a serious conversation will rock the EU to its core. Everyone else will be considering the possibility. Other countries would follow. It would probably, if Western Europe gets together to abuse a developing economy in Eastern Europe like Hungary with strong diplomatic ties to Poland, the Czech Republic, Slovakia, Romania, all of these, certainly the Baltic states, it could cause all of Eastern Europe to sever ties with the EU. It could cause them to abandon it. The U.S., by the way, run by Trump especially, who's populistic at least in name, he'll come along and say, yeah, it's a decent idea, we can understand. You still trade with the U.S., we'll be your best friends. In fact, we'll send more aid. That's exactly, by the way, what DC should do. Eastern Europe is still growing. Western Europe is stagnant. I would make a swing towards, you know, trying to buddy-buddy with Eastern Europe. They feel more positively towards the U.S., more negatively towards some of our adversaries. They're more reluctant to you know, take in people who may have ties to our enemies around the world. I like Eastern Europe better. If, at this point, as me, I probably couldn't even travel to Germany. They'd probably say I was a fascist or something, probably keep me at the airport. I can't even probably travel to my ancestral homeland of the UK, like England, where my family's from, predominantly, especially on my father's side. I'd probably get lower and southern if I tried to travel there. I'd be at Heathrow, and they'd say, no, you can't leave the airport. You're going to have to wait in the airport until your ticket is due to go back tomorrow. I probably can't even see the land of my ancestry. But I bet I could travel to Poland. I bet the Baltic states would have no problem. I bet I could go to Bucharest or something. Or Greece. I could go to Turkey. Erdogan doesn't give a fuck. I could go to these countries, but I can't even travel. In Western Europe, it'd be a patchwork of what countries can I set foot in without getting arrested for being, too far right, supposedly, or some stupid shit like that. I criticize the government. I criticize Merkel. 10 years in gulag for you. It's basically how it works. The European Union can't work, because the problem is that in a situation where a state like Hungary dissents, the European Union has two options. They can ignore it, in which case other nations start dissenting and say, hey, the EU's not going to do anything. They don't apply sanctions. There's no repercussions for ignoring the rules. This is going to be great. Then the legalism falls apart, and then the EU basically becomes toothless. Well, that wouldn't work for those bureaucrats. Those MEPs need their high salaries now, don't they? The other possibility is you do enforce the rules, you do sanction people and abuse them and do more than talk badly about them. Then you get separatist movements, because they're like, hey, why don't we just leave and be like the UK? We'll sort of be in partnership with them. What you may end up with is a very loose confederated sort of situation within Europe. I would say, if I were Orban, or if I were a Hungarian, you know what I would support? Leave the EU and don't even maintain relations. Scrap it entirely, partner with the US and everyone else, and wait until the rest of the EU collapses in the wake of having a Hexit or a Pexit with Poland or whatever final piece leaves the EU and causes the rest to collapse. You won't need all those deals then, because there won't be an EU to make deals with. Brussels will no longer have a post-national authority. All you have to do is separate yourselves. If Italy and Hungary and Poland alone got together and did that, in the same span of time, it would rip the European Union apart, and you'd see it devolve into a number of blocks. There'd be a German bloc, Merkel's people. Scandinavia would probably haul off and join the UK. You'd see France and Spain and some of these countries partner, and then you'd see sort of Southern and Eastern Europe probably pulling together into a currency bloc, maybe backed by Italy or Poland, which would make a hell of a lot more sense. And it'd be developing. You've got room to grow. Poland has room to grow its economy. Hungary, all of these other states. How much more do you think Germany can grow? They have to import millions of people just to fill their factories with workers. They have stalled out. Their economy's growth is running on fumes. It's only qualitative growth, no quantitative growth. Now, that's not the case in Eastern Europe. Belarus, population density may be a little bit lower. Possibly because the life expectancy is so much lower, but developing, I'd rather be in a developing part of the world than one that's strangulated. That's why ultimately I still dream of moving back to Texas. It's like Texas has room to expand. A lot of it's still very much rural, and it's expanding rapidly. Here, it's like the population totally stagnant. You can feel it. You can almost feel it. The energy of Vermont is a stagnant energy. Vermont has a lot of good things about it in the same way that there are a lot of good things about Sweden. The stagnancy is not one of them. The displacement is not one of them. Here in Vermont, we're being displaced by Floridians. Primarily people come and build second homes. All the Vermonters, they move off to get jobs, then they retire back to Vermont and get taken care of by out-of-staters with lower level educations because there aren't enough people going into nursing and stuff like that here in the state. Meanwhile, Vermonters, they get educations, especially for the energy industry or something. They go off to work for a pharma or for an oil company. Something like that. It's very, very funny. That's about all. Peace out.
And talk shit about us. Okay, fair enough. Well, look, he's an American like me, Colonel Shaw. We don't always see Europe the way it actually is because you're we see Europe the way your media wants us to see it. Same as over here, you know. But I still think they're making a massive mistake punishing Hungary. Hungary and Poland are two of the biggest movers and shakers in the political realm. Right. Yeah, Poland and Hungary and well, now Italy's coming up. Italy's stepping up, you know. They've got big populist movements, big Trump movements in those countries, man. And I think that we need to support that. Right.
The media doesn't get to tell Generation Z what socialism and capitalism is anymore because these kids are living it, and that petrifies the left, and it should. Question of the day, do you think that Jim Carrey is A, clinically insane, B, if he is, what does it say about the Hollywood elite surrounding him who agree with his every word as seen on Bill Maher? When it comes to socialism and how Americans are living under Trump right now, I always wonder when I see Jim Carrey saying what he's saying, are they just all that out of touch, or is it a touch of mental illness perhaps? I'd like to see your comments. Let me know. Here's some context for those who didn't see it on Bill Maher last week. Jim Carrey claims that it's time to stop apologizing for being a socialist, and it's time to really push it. Here we go.
We have to say yes to socialism, to the word and everything. We have to stop apologizing.
Well, here's what's interesting to me. The socialism comments went viral on Twitter. Maher actually cut them. They cut them from the show, as far as I understand it, or YouTube. They cut them. You don't see all of these quotes everywhere on all of the platforms. But we wanted to give you context of the rest of the interview so you could actually look at Jim Carrey's claims and take them forth there. So again, the left wants less context. We want more. Let's go on to the claims.
So, you know, the Republicans are running with the word socialism. They're trying to say...
They're trying to scare people.
Scare people.
It's communism. It's
Venezuela, Trump says. We're going to be living in Venezuela.
No, we only point to Venezuela because it's the best example, well, probably of true socialism in the last millennium, but mainly because of you. You're the ones who pointed us to Venezuela. You said everyone look to Venezuela. We said, I don't think you really want to. No. Come on, look at Venezuela. We said, okay, we'll go along the Venezuelan trail with you. You praised it all along with its dictator, other familiar socialist faces. By the way, hit the notification bell because subscriptions don't mean anything, and join up at Mug Club. Look, here's the proof.
He is one of the most important forces we've had on this planet.
On this planet.
Very American point of view of my friend, President Chavez.
You know, it's funny, sometimes American journalists talk about how bad a country is because people are lining up for food. That's a good thing.
What do you mean by that, Mr. Bernie Sanders? No explanation necessary. The most important figure on this planet. By the way, Captain Planet Thanos doesn't make that claim. They don't make claims about superheroes regarding that kind of importance. So it's not the Republicans scaring people with comparisons to Venezuela. The left, they've made these comparisons for a long time. Until Chavez's experiment went completely sour, the country headed for 1,000,000% hyperinflation. People started starving to death with citizens eating rats, dogs, zoo animals to survive. This is what happened. You pointed to Venezuela, you championed its cause, and then it turned around on you, so you move on to the next socialist country.
I grew up in Canada, okay? We have socialized medicine. And I'm here to tell you that this bullshit line that you get on all of the political shows from people is that it's a failure. The system is a failure in Canada. It is not a failure in Canada. I never waited for anything in my life. Anecdotal. I chose my own doctors. My mother never paid for a prescription. Anecdotal. It was fantastic.
Untrue. Anecdotal, untrue. By the way, what wormhole did I fall into that Jim Carrey gets to act as though he has the moral high ground in combating a biased media? Everyone, people, this is what you never hear. Everyone has heard this. They used Canada as the model and said it was how the United States should model its healthcare program. Jim, you're just one in a long line of celebrities and politicians who've been selling this lie, specifically Canada, for years.
How does it happen that here in Canada,
we're back to him,
they provide quality health care to all people? And I don't think there is any debate that the quality of care here is as good or better than in the United States.
And there are ways of providing high-quality health care that you have developed that we need to know more about.
You know, in Canada, they run their entire free universal health care system. Total overhead, total bureaucracy, 1.7% of the total health care budget.
That's a white blow.
That's a Walter White in transition if I've ever seen it. And by the way, this is a lie, okay? Canadian healthcare is objectively worse than the United States. Now, we've done some videos on this, so you can go back and look at, just search on this channel, Socialized Healthcare Canada. But to specifically use his examples, which are anecdotal, they have the worst ER referral wait times in 11 developed countries. 56% of Canadians actually wait longer than 4 weeks for treatment. Compared to the US, it's about 24%. The average wait to see a specialist in Canada is 21 weeks.
At which point you don't need it anymore.
My mom was looking at 9 months for, was it 9 months for an MRI?
Yep.
9 months for an MRI, but didn't she slip some cash? Isn't that what happened? A little bit of money, and then she got it within about a month. You have cash, you have a doctor. That's how it works in a socialized healthcare system.
You want to know how long I waited? 45 minutes.
Yes, it took
then
longer
I went and
to
got
do
one.
the MRI.
I don't understand.
Here, to give you context, when he says, I didn't have to wait, well, it was 3 years when we had to find a family doctor. Well, I never had to pay for prescription. I said subscription. I don't know. Maybe they don't have to pay for magazines. Who knows? Maybe some guy was going to I got shot in the face. I don't know what the rules are there. I have to pay for prescriptions. Well, Canadians have to pay for about 70% of the prescriptions that they want. By the way, they don't have the same kind of generics that you have in the United States. They certainly don't when I was there. But if none of that convinces you, if you're still convinced by Jim Carrey's anecdotal evidence to which he received thunderous applause, here's something for you. The wait times were so bad in Canada, it was ruled a human rights violation by the Canadian Supreme Court in Chouy versus Quebec to force somebody into the socialized healthcare system, not allowing them to pay for privatized care. As I've talked about this many times, now in Canada they have these things known as super hospitals, as we know them in the United States, hospitals. Not to mention terminal illness survival rates, medical innovation. It's just, I mean, the list goes on and on and on. You know, here he goes on to, again, appeal to emotion.
There are people who are sick.
But that's
You shouldn't have to lose your home because your mother got sick.
Only that's not true at all. This is what they do. They try to appeal to emotion. So, no, you shouldn't have to lose your house because someone gets sick. Obamacare is one of the greatest taxes on the middle class that we've seen in our lifetime. Who was left footing the bill? Just like we've talked about with the housing crisis. Not the people who qualified for the subsidies, paid for by the rest of America, and not the super wealthy who could afford the skyrocketing premiums and deductibles, but the middle class Americans who do the subsidizing. Oh, you shouldn't have to lose your house because you get sick. Well, should you have to lose your house because you actually had the right amount of money saved for money down and you actually got a fair loan? You didn't go to the subprime market and then you didn't go into the healthcare exchange because you're middle class and you're working? Should you get screwed that way? We only care about the non-contributing zeros amongst us? Why do they get to dictate how the rest of society lives? Hey, I've never gotten my crap together. I don't work. I'm not even legal. More money, please. More money, please. Next clip.
There's nothing more socialistic than some of the Pentagon programs that are just jobs programs. The Pentagon says we don't want these tanks, and they build them anyway. If that's not socialism, I don't know what is.
Fall on a knife.
This is exactly what they right away. What do they sure enough, socialists, what do they go to? Military. War. Police. Okay, there's a difference between a commodity and a public good. This is really, really easy. Police, national defense, they're public goods. Healthcare, college, Nestle tea, commodities. Okay, let me explain what this means, and then let me give you an analogy. Actually, you're the one who taught me this analogy, Papa Crowder. Public goods are non-rivalrous, non-excludable. That means, non-rivalrous, let's start with that, that more people can use them without any significant additional cost. Non-excludable means you can't keep the extra people from using that good. So even free enterprise conservatives we all agree the government should provide public military defense, for example, a police force, right? Things like free healthcare, free college aren't really public goods because they cost a lot more for each additional patient or person you add to the list, and you can easily keep them from using it. This is a referee analogy that was actually given to me by you, Papa Crowder. The analogy for the legitimate role of government, like a hockey referee, okay? It's to keep the players, the citizens, safe, right, from both internal and external. Someone might be throwing, a big gulp into they're supposed to try and keep you safe from that.
Or an octopus in hockey.
If it's incidental to the play, you keep your whistle in your pocket. We're not soccer.
Come on.
That's the role of the government, to keep us safe. Okay, so what falls under the legitimate purview of government? Of course, the military. Yeah. Of course, things like borders. Of course, things like enforcing laws to make sure that other people aren't hurt by law-breaking citizens. We're not saying there's no role to government. We just don't think that everything is a human right.
Well, it's the economic equivalent of the free speech argument you make, where these people make their bones, and they shut the door behind them.
Right.
Same thing here.
Yeah.
So let's go back to the first point. People should apologize for Should people apologize for socialism? He's saying, oh, people shouldn't. Yeah, you should. You should. Socialism and its cousin, who's aged slightly less gracefully, communism. They try to separate those two. You really can't if you look at them historically. Has led to insanely brutal regimes under the USSR, Mao, Castro, Chavez. Should I keep going? And all those regimes, by the way, were initially praised by the same leftist elite and academics of America. Yeah. Just like celebrities with Venezuela, you can go back and find the same elites praising Castro and Soviet Russia, Mao. Anita Dunn recently praised Mao. I think it was like 2012.
Jeez. Somebody hadn't done their homework.
I remember I was on a panel with Doug Schoen on Fox News.
Yeah.
Like, well, she wasn't praising Mao, and I'm going, oh, this guy has no idea what's about to happen. And we roll the clip of Anita Dunn praising Mao. Yeah. When it comes to long-term endorsement, the left has a monopoly on batting 100 for sucking. Yep. Okay. And, by the way, communism. We always talk about religion. Communism has led to 100 million dead over the last 100 years. Yeah.
Wow.
Far, far more than we're talking about even just religion.
That's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people.
That is a lot of people, right?
They pointed to Russia.
Yeah,
right?
That didn't work.
Then you see what happened. They pointed to Cuba. Then you saw what happened. Then they pointed to Venezuela. You just saw them recently pointing to Venezuela. And then when that didn't work, Anita Dunn went back to China. I don't know what happened. Let's go to the clip. Let's go back to the clip to wrap this up here.
The Democrats need to get a plan to fight this slander of socialism. You're going to be living in Venezuela.
Well,
I don't see it yet.
We have to say yes to socialism, to the word and everything.
Oh, dear God.
We have to stop apologizing.
Okay, you want to know how I know that Jim Carrey loves capitalism? $150 million net worth. Bill Maher at $100 million.
Whoa!
And if that weren't enough, here's another little tidbit just from that very segment on Bill Maher.
I went out today and bought me some Nikes.
Brought to you by Capital.
He must like really bad quarterbacks.
Some freedom-friendly Nikes.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. As a salute to Colin Kaepernick, to Nike, congratulations on your fantastic choice.
Fantastic.
Colin Kaepernick won't salute the flag, but will salute Colin Kaepernick. Nike, of all companies, the same Nike famous for exploiting sweatshop labor conditions in other countries that we don't allow in our capitalist system in the United States. This just shows you how incoherent Jim Carrey's worldview is. It's worse than Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I know you all try to act like you know what's really going on there. No, you don't. Most of you don't. That's why there's so many fan theories with it in Donnie Darko. Shut up. Stop trying to act like you have a handle on it. You don't. It's just so funny that they use right now, of all times. This is why I don't know if he's crazy. He's just completely out of touch. Right now, of all times, to push for socialism. Yeah. Like, did you hear when they were talking about Donald Trump? They said he would rate his job performance as very good. And Jim Carrey goes, as what? A demolition man? And everyone claps. Like, what is he blown? What? Our economy is not only the best in the world, it's doing insanely well right now by our own metrics. The jobless rate, lowest point in half a century. That's since the moon landing. Black unemployment rate, pretty low, all-time low.
Ever.
And by the way, remember how everyone said that Donald Trump was delusional for suggesting that he could even achieve 3% growth? I think actually, what's it? Brian Stelter was saying, is he mentally stable? Well, guess what? Now economic growth is up to 4.2%.
Lord.
Boom.
He was delusional and mentally unstable for promising 3%, 4.2. Do you have any idea how significant that is in the realm of economics? It's just bizarre to me that they pick right now to bitch about free enterprise and try and push socialism. And here's what I think. The left is petrified of another baby boomer generation. Because why? Free enterprise capitalism is working really well, as we've just pointed out. We have an entire generation of people, somewhat millennials, but Generation Z, who had never actually seen capitalist markets doing as well as they have now. For years, the left told them that capitalism was a failure. Socialism was the answer. Up until now, the generations hadn't really seen a free market, right? They had George Bush, Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, neither of whom were Republicans, neither of whom was really all that conservative, certainly not economically, followed by 8 years of Obama. But now with Trump following Obama, the left is terrified of Carter being followed by Reagan 2.0. Yeah, sure, when people were young, right, they thought they wanted Carter, right? Hippie, okay, free love. And Carter, he seems like the nice guy. He wears a sweater.
Mr. Rogers.
Turned the White House down, put some solar panels on, wore a sweater. He keeps a little bit cooler in the winter.
He farms peanuts. What could go wrong?
Exactly. What could possibly go wrong? And so they thought they wanted Carter. Then Reagan happened, and they realized they had more money in their pocket, and they didn't have to wait in a gas line. So the baby boom generation grew up from pot-smoking hippies into the conservative yuppie stereotype that you see today. Suddenly, generations who were sold on socialism are now seeing the positive and personal effects of free enterprise in their lifetime. More importantly, in their own lives. So how do I mean? Greater job opportunities for themselves.
Big time.
Keeping more of their own money for themselves. The left knows and is terrified, especially because they appeal purely to selfish motives disguised as compassion. They are terrified of Generation Z, after millennials, upon whom the left, they have footed Generation Z with a massive bill. And like the baby boom generation, Generation Z, which is the most conservative generation at this point in their lifetime ever, meaning when at this point in their youth, they're more conservative than baby boomers, they're going to be even more conservative once they get older. Because now they've seen the contrast between a crappy economy under Obama and a flourishing economy under Trump. Up until this Trump boom, the media was able to sell an entire generation on the contrast of terrible, unsuccessful capitalism and compassionate, democratic socialism. That's the word we've used, right? But now the generation is living it. They're living the contrast of one of the worst job economies ever for people under 30. Inaccessibility to health care, even if you work for a living, particularly if you work for a living under Barack Obama. Now it's being contrasted with more money left in their paychecks, more jobs available, more free market options available than ever before, whether it's health care, whether it's, take your pick, more choices than ever before under President Trump. The media doesn't get to tell Generation Z what socialism and capitalism is anymore, because these kids are living it, and that petrifies the left, and it should. Hey there, YouTube viewer, if you like this video, watch another one of our videos or subscribe, hit the notification bell. Those don't really mean anything anymore today in YouTube. I would say hit a like with a thumbs up, but that might be gone, or comment below, but that most likely will be censored. So bookmark the page. Of course, if you're using Google Chrome, they'll find a way to f with your bookmark. So just join up at louderwithcrowder.com/mugclub. That's louderwithcrowder.com/mugclub. You get a hand-etched mug, and you get access to the full daily 1-hour show, and you're not beholden to Susan Wojcicki/Clint Howard.
Something told me it was over. When I saw you and that man talking, something deep down in my soul said, cry, boy. When I saw you and that man talking, I would rather go blind, girl, than to see you walk away from me. So you see, I love you so much that I don't want to see you leave me, baby. Most of all, I don't want to be free. About your kisses and your warm embrace, with a reflection in the glass that I held to my lips, baby. Reveal the tears running down my face. I would rather go blind, girl, than to see you walk away from me. So you see, I love you so much, and I don't want to see you leave me, baby. But most of all, I don't want to be free. Baby, baby, I would rather go blind than to see you walk away from me. I would rather go blind than to see you walk away from me. Baby, 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 I would rather go blind, girl, than to see you walk away. Than to see you walk away from me.
late in the evening, and I've got a aching head. Ah, shit, I don't know the fucking lyrics. I do know them, but I'm drunk. We haven't got to the party yet, and I'm already for bed. Jesus Christ. Brown hair, and then she asked me, do you feel alright? And I said yes. Hang in there, Pat. Yeah, I'm all fuckered up. It's Don's fault, man. He shipped me that smudge, man. I've been eating it since fucking noon. I got 4 pieces going, and I've been cruising like a motherfucker, man. Since noon. Yeah, 4 since noon. And I'm still just floating, man. Thank you. I gave Pops 2, and he went to bed. You never liked this song? How do you not like this song? Dude, I've never even had a girlfriend and I love this song. How is that even possible? Wow. Clapton never did anything for you. Holy shit. Alright. I guess that's just a personal taste thing, man. Not up to your standards. Dude, I don't know if I could handle your standards. My standards are just fine, apparently. Oh, Tanya, you're beautiful. Even if he never says it, you are. Alright, that's just... You're adorable. Holy fuck. It's time to go home. Don't be bitter. Shit, you're gorgeous. You're a beautiful young woman. Your man ought to be pleased that you're even talking to him, matter of fact.
As I turn out the light, I say, my darling, you were one.
$50 says Tanya's out of her boyfriend's league. It's attached to the hand that put the smudge in your mouth. Yeah, I hear you. It was totally my dosage, my dosage suggestion. I'm totally responsible for that. I am a smudging motherfucker. And then I drank a bunch of wine on top of it. I'm all fuckered up. Oh, canoes. Mark Knopfler is amazing. Sultans of Swing? Really? Are you kidding me? What a song, man. That's why there's so many genres, yeah.
How much I'm gonna miss you, but believe while I'm away that I didn't mean to hurt you. Don't you know that I'd rather hurt myself?
I don't know, $15 for the buzz I got now? That's worth it. Yeah. Be back in 15. I hear you, Dallas. Take care, man.
I'm bewildered, I'm lonely, and I'm loveless. Without you to hold my hand.
Except rap, top 40 crap, and opera. You know, you're pretty much in the same spot that I am. Like, rap makes me angry. I just get mad when I hear it. Top 40 is bubblegum pop garbage, and opera is kind of hard to listen to sometimes. Some operas are beautiful, but sometimes they just, yeah, yeah.
It can't be denied. The power of love, it won't lie. No.
Rap is not music. It's not. It's poetry set to drums and bass. Oh, old school Chicago R&B? Are you kidding me? Motown? Absolutely, dude. Sitting on the dock of the bay and all those guys. That's absolutely 100% that's music. Unless you're wearing a Viking helmet, then it's okay. Yeah. Could happen. I don't know.
Those that we love foolishly may cry, and sometimes feel it's fair to say goodbye.
I bet, Don Bear, they're really good, man. And for anybody else paying attention, if the opportunity ever comes up for you to get some of Don Bear's goodies, 100%, no, 1000%, go get them. His goodies are as good or better than anybody else's I've ever tried. Not that I've tried a bunch. I had a few gummy bears here and there. That's about it. But Don Bear's shit is top notch. And his fudge is good. It's just tasty.
How much I'm really gonna miss you, but believe while I'm away, now I really didn't mean to hurt.
I am Dr. Yes, you are. You are Dr. Smiles.
Don't you know that I'd rather hurt myself?
I want to get smudged up. I'm smudged up. I got to tell you, I'm loving it. I've had four little balls since noon. I got them just before noon, and I opened them up, and I looked at the bag, and I was like, "Holy shit!" Don Bear sent me the whole freaking recipe. Which, thank you, by the way. I was really expecting like a couple pieces for me and a couple pieces for Aaron, a couple pieces for Pop. Don Bear sent me like 3 pounds of fucking fudge. I think I'm allergic to cannabis. Don't make that determination until you do some edibles. Have you done edibles?
The way I used to.
Because some people just don't smoke well. Mother smudger. Right?
Whoop-de-doo.
Bermuda says he is. You should try edibles before you make a final determination if you haven't. It's a whole it's a different experience. Edibles are very different than smoking.
I don't go straight.
I tried it for decades. Right on. It's not for everybody. I will totally give you that point. I've got a couple of friends of mine that they don't. No, I've got a couple of friends of mine that I've known for a long, long time, since like elementary school. They don't mess with it. You know. But by the same token, you know, they'll drink, you know, a half gallon of Jack Daniels. You know what I'm saying? So they found their preferred place, and that's cool. It's all good. It ain't for everybody. Everybody's not the same. I get it. Yeah, whatever works, man. Whatever your poison is. Everybody's got a different outlawed CBD last week. Had to pull all our production off the shelves at work. Yeah, CBD, but not Kratom, right? The Ohio anti-pot motherfuckers are working really hard against us, man.
I used to give it down.
Kratom is good. I've been getting it for pops, but I tried it first. You know what I'm saying? I guinea pig for it. They're so shady. Oh my god, dude, you have no idea. Actually, you do have an idea. Ohio is terrible, dude. They have been corrupt since I was a little tiny kid, and probably before that. But yeah, I guinea pig for the Kratom, and I got to tell you, I was for something that's something you can buy in a store. It's fantastic. If you've got body aches or problems with like fibromyalgia, where you just hurt all the time, Kratom is a beast, and people are saying that it helped them. Right, yeah, right, Donald. Some people can't drink booze. You know what I'm saying? I got a cousin. The second you pour a fucking shot in him, he turns into an asshole. You know, we've like outlawed him from drinking. We were like, no, you can't. And if you do drink, you can't be around any of us. You go sit in your room by yourself and be drunk. But he can smoke pot. You know, if he smokes pot, he's cool. You know, everybody's got to find their own spot. Bureaucratic red tape. Yeah. Well, at least, you know, in Ohio, it's always something, bro. It never ends. There's no end to bureaucratic bullshit from top to bottom in Ohio. Coming up on Fire in the Hole. I hear you. I was thinking about eating another fudgy bowl. I think I'm going to do that. Because I got like 2 more hits in my bong, and that's the end of my flowers. Till Monday. I think I'm gonna smudge it up. Matter of fact, that's what I'm doing. Don Bear, it's me and you, man. I'm going to get it.
shadow hanging over me. It won't let go of me. Gonna leave you all behind. To see what I find. Gonna leave you all behind. To read between the lines. Got a shadow hanging over me. Won't let go of me. Won't let go of me. Throw your line strong. Show your side. Throw your line strong. Got a shadow hanging over me. Won't let go. Sometimes I feel like I could fly in the night. Sometimes I wish that I could lay down and die. Sometimes I think it's 'cause I want things this way. Love in time will always fade away. Now I'm sitting here, I'm all alone. Should have listened to you long ago. While I live here in this empty space. Sometimes I wished I'd never seen your face. Throw me a line. Show me a sign. Throw me a line. Got a shadow hanging over me. Won't let go. You're tearing my heart out, one piece at a time. You must think I'm crazy, deaf, dumb, or blind, 'cause you don't try to hide the little things that you do, or things that are happening between me and you. I'll always love you. It's breaking my heart. The house that love lives in is falling apart. The fire that was burning is no more than cold. There was warmth in these rooms, now they're so cold. We both see what's happening, don't know what to do. Don't know what to fix, what is broken between me and you. I'll always heat in dusty whispers. The wind is cold around your moon. It's getting hard to keep our distance. I know your time is coming soon. Don't point your dream on my horizon. Don't take your rose too far from home. Please don't forget we're not each other. Each soul has black thorns of his own. I see you dancing. Your song is clear. You got to show me. Got to show me. There's nothing to fear. Nothing to fear. My loved ones, you have yours. So let us gaze upon the feast. In God's own name, let's eat together. In God's own name, please come in peace. See how our children play together. While you and me, we stand alone. I know we'll never be each other. If I leave you, leave me alone. And I see you dancing. Your song is clear. You got to show me. Got to show me. There's nothing to fear. Nothing to fear.
Oh boy, I'm feeling right smooth tonight. Man, this music's got me feeling some kind of way. Huh.
Never meant to cause you any sorrow. I never meant to cause you any pain. All I wanted one time to see you laughing. All I want to see you laughing in the purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain.
Purple rain, purple rain. Hell yeah, man.
Purple rain,
Purple rain. Ah.
all I want to see you bathing in the purple rain. I never wanted to be your weekend lover. All I wanted to be some kind of friend. Hey. Baby, I can never steal you from another. It's such a shame our friendship had to wait. Now, purple rain, purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain. Yeah. Purple rain, purple rain. All I want to see you walking in the purple rain. Oh, I know, times are changing. It's time we all reach out for the new. That means you too. You say I want a leader, but you can't seem to make up your mind. I think you better close it. Let me guide you to the purple rain. Now, purple rain, purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain, purple rain. Well, I wanna see you. Well, I wanna see you in the purple
Hell yeah. Purple rain. What a great song. I'm not a huge fan of Prince, but that one was a good one. Purple Rain and When Doves Fly, I think were his two best songs. So I think what I'm going to do is put that feller on there and then play this.
My way back, gotta find my swampy home. Gotta find my way back, back to the swamp where I belong. Been gone such a long time. Mama, I'm coming home. Been gone such a long time. Mama, I'm coming home. Gotta find my way back, gotta find my Louisiana home. Gotta find my way back, way down south where I belong. Been 10 years in prison. Mama, I'm coming home. Where the bodies in the swamp were hidden. Mama, I'm coming home. No, I took the money. I took the money and I hid it good. No, I took the money, buried it deep out in them woods. 10 years in prison. Mama, I'm coming home. Where the bodies in the swamp were hidden. Mama, I'm coming home. Gotta find my way back, gotta find my swampy home. Gotta find my way back, deep in the swamp where I belong. Been gone such a long time. Mama, I'm coming home. Been gone such a long time. Mama, I'm coming home. Oh yeah. Get that crawfish pie ready, Mama. And that gilly gumbo. You don't know what I've been eating.
Oh, yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen. That brings us to the end of yet another sermon for the New Elder Circle Church. Your Reverend Sick Pat coming at you. Live. 50,000 unstoppable watts. That's right, y'all. Much love. Peace to my peeps. Y'all have a good night.